well, you just look ridiculous. Hey Internet, how's it going, guys? It's me, Ricardo.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're here for the Common Reviews. Yes, I know, I look horrifying. I'm going to be haunting your sleeps tonight, aren't I? But anyways, it's a special Halloween-themed Common Review. So happy Halloween to all of you. I hope that you have dressed up into something interesting. Hopefully something a little less scary than myself. And Ryan is dressed up, as you can tell, as a pickle.
No, I'm a doctor.
Oh, that's to be debatable. But yes, Ryan has dressed up as RWBY, and I have to say he's done a very good job. So give him a hand, give him a good little like down in the comment section, because he's actually.
I also brought Zwei.
Yes. Sadly, though, due to PETA contacting me, we're not able to punch Zwei across the room in a fiery blaze of glory.
Plus,
because apparently that's just animal abuse, despite how awesome it would look.
Yeah.
Then he did forget a thermos, which is fine. I mean, I'm not allowed to have weapons in my room. I do have this, however, which I crafted out of just pretty much styrofoam and cardboard, so you can look at it badly and it will fall apart easily. But thank you all for watching. More importantly, thank you so much for watching the videos up till now. Volume 3 has been really great. I remember watching it myself. As you probably hear in my final thoughts, I watched it all in one go. Ryan, did you watch it all in one go? Or did you...
Well, I was watching it up to a certain point, and then I stopped for a while, and then I finally binged the whole season.
He does that a lot.
Yeah.
He'll watch up to a point, and then he'll just stop because he's got other things to do.
Yeah.
Me, I decided to not watch it at all. I was trying to work on something. I didn't want any influence from RWBY at all. I wanted to be my own thing. And then I watched it all in one go, and I was left in the fetal position for the next 3 hours.
Although, I have to ask, are we allowed to actually, kind of reveal what day this is?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Of course people know this. We're not recording this live.
Yeah, no, I'm
There's
saying...
no way I can upload it and edit it in that time. As you'll see, this is going to be edited to some extent. But, today is Friday, literally a day before, I think, the premiere of RWBY Volume 6 to everyone else.
Yeah. I was one of the people who went to go see it in theaters last night. It was fun. I will say, not spoiling anything, I felt it, with all, the previous episodes of of Volume 5, it made it seem like the next episode was going to be longer.
Seasons of Volume 5.
Yeah, well...
But yeah, no, he does have a point, and this is something I'll get to in actually Volume 4 and 5. A lot of criticism towards those volumes, but it's mainly, if you think about it, it's mainly because of the fact that Volume 3 was so great. People expected things to get better and better, and in an aspect, they did get better and better. The world building grew.
Yeah.
You got more interesting characters, and the story actually involved in complexity. However, as always,
things went south.
Yeah, as always, hype kills things very easily, and people got super hyped up for Volume. That's one of the reasons why I don't like reading certain comments about people going, Volume 6 hype! Because I know for the fact that Volume 6 is not going to meet all my expectations.
Yeah.
But when I do watch it, I know that I'm going to like it. I've watched Volume 4 and 5 and knew that I was going to go in and not liking some things, but knew that overall I was going to really enjoy it. And I have. And let's face the fact, people, RWBY grew from something very small that should not have gained the attention it did to something monumental. And I have to get it for Rooster Teeth because they did a great job.
My only issue is with all the lead up, at least this time, I didn't have that feeling going to see the Volume 5 premiere last year. But then again, the ending of Volume 5's first episode it made it seem longer because everybody was laughing. But this one, it just felt so short.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be understandable because, like I said, if you look at Volume 4, 5, and onward, it looks like they're going to be making the story have more of a prominence. And when that happens, it just feels like the characters don't get enough screen time, which is, let's face it, it's not true. Ever since the beginning, RWBY has always been about the characters.
Yep.
And it still is.
I mean, look at what happened with, like, originally Team Juniper was going to be
Yeah.
just side characters, and then they became a second A-team.
They were not to be anything more than just, oh look, it's the funny kid. Oh look, it's the kid that we pick on. Oh look, it's the waifu that everyone loves. And look, oh look, it's Monty. Literally, that's all it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be just like with Roman. He was just supposed to be there for a short while and then gone.
That wasn't. I remember hearing. I want to say it was on the first volume's commentary for like the crew commentary that
I think so.
He was supposed to be only there for like that first episode.
That
and
was it. He was just supposed to be the antagonist that kicked everything off. Cinder would then take over. But people loved Roman so much.
Well, it wasn't even people. It was actually like Rooster Teeth itself loved like Roman as a concept. So they're like, we need to keep him.
It's very similar to how Crow came about. There's a reason why you guys love Crow so much. Is because Rooster Teeth loved him so much. They were ecstatic to have an adult character that was able to not take things so seriously. I mean, if you read some of the comments that they made on about Crow, is that it was the first character that they were able to just make almost very similar to Red versus Blue.
Yes.
Where he criticizes everything that's going on, and is just there dealing with all this crap that's going on. But anyways, we're here to read some of the comments that you guys have made. You guys have made some very interesting comments. I'm very happy that we don't have any more of the "oh, you suck" comment, simply because, well, come on.
You know that
there's nothing I can work with it, there, people.
Now that you've said that, you've opened the floodgates.
Oh yes, please send me your hate. I feel weak and weary. I need sustenance. But anyways, some of you guys have made some interesting comments. Not all of them do I agree with, but they do make some very interesting points that I want to get to. So we're going to start off. I'm going to adjust my screen just a little bit. We're probably going to first start off with the first comments during the first episode. Which, and speaking about that, I really enjoyed episode... hold on, my screen is frozen.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed episode 1 when it first came out, mainly because of the fact of how it just started off with just this somber note. We all came into volume 3 very unsure because Monty had just passed away.
Yeah. We weren't sure about we were completely unsure about how Rooster Teeth was going to continue with the show.
Yeah.
Even though it was already stated that there was already a basic skeleton for the events going forward up to at least volume 8.
Yeah, Monty had planned things out for a good while, but it didn't take away from the fact that we were all very worried that volume 1 would more or less be the mainstay. Volume 2 was pretty great, but when we get to volume 3, it all just died off. That RWBY's popularity would end because they made so many mistakes without Monty. But as we see going on, and especially towards the volume 3 end, they've done a very good job of keeping to Monty's vision.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face the fact. Pierre is a very popular character, very bankable. And they killed her off.
And it was already planned.
Monty, wanted it. Monty had planned that. They could have easily said, Monty planned it, but come on, guys. We're going to lose a lot of revenue if we kill off Pyrrha. I mean, we can't do that. But no, they kept to it.
Yeah,
and
they wanted to
keep... It was a great thing that they did.
They wanted to keep Monty's vision alive the way he wanted it. Or at least to the best of their ability.
I mean, yeah, there's no way that they can keep this perfectly to Monty. And let's face the fact. If they did, it might not be as popular as it is right now. Because, well, there are certain things that anime does that sound great, but in the long run, they're only like a spark and they don't last very long.
Yeah.
But enough about me bashing about how you guys like anime in certain aspects. But let's get to some of the first comments.
All right.
Let's look at this one. Of course, starting off with one of my favorite commenters, Thomas Gabriel White, who wrote, "To a shipper, there is no such thing as a platonic relationship." God damn it, dude. That is like preaching to the choir. Jeez, that is so damn true.
Goes forever.
But to be honest, there are certain aspects that, yes, I fully endorse with shipping. I fully love how we're able to come together as a community and say, these certain characters might work in a canon relationship. Those might not. What we don't like, and I think I am speaking for a lot of you out there, is we don't like people who just take over and say, no, this ship has to be canon.
I mean, Rooster Teeth's kind of like played around with like the ideas of like shipping characters, because I mean, in what was it, Volume 2, there was basically a song from Sun's perspective about Blake, and then in Volume 4, yeah, Volume 4's soundtrack, they had Bumblebee.
Bumblebee,
yes. So.
And of course, I love how people just took that out of context, despite the fact that Rooster Teeth clearly states that their music is made separate from the show.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is just purely the fact that they can't make it in time. One will be weighing down the other, so they just left Jeff Williams make this song.
Except for the trail, at least the very first trailer.
But that one was understandable, just because of the fact that the trailer was just so short, and it was so interconnected, and Monty was pretty much doing everything.
Yeah, the only thing he didn't do in that was the music.
Which was obvious, because Jeff Williams is amazing. But here's a good way of finalizing this whole, that the music really doesn't matter all that much to the canon of RWBY. Red Like Roses 2. A lot of people thought that was supposed to be RWBY, which is interesting. If you think about it, that seems more like Yang.
They actually talked about this at an RTX panel. I didn't see it firsthand.
I don't know this.
Yeah, I didn't see it firsthand, but I've read like comments from people that were actually there, and actually I want to say it might be actually in a book, like an art book or something like that. Mm-hmm. That Jeff Williams is actually responsible through Red Like Roses Part 2 for the creation of Summer Rose and her death.
Well, I don't think he was the creation of Summer Rose, as Summer is a character that has to exist. Yeah. If RWBY's going to exist, she's got to have a mother. But I think it's her
actual...
Yeah, the background, what happened to her. I'm pretty sure I would not put that past Miles and Carrie, that would have been a main inspiration to creating what happens to Summer, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna find more about that in later detail later on, because I'm pretty darn sure that Tai Yang has kept a lot from his children. I mean, just look at what he's kept from Yang about her own mother. So I'm pretty sure he's kept a lot, most likely for just simply because it's too painful to talk about. But anyways, thank you, Thomas, for your comment.
One last thing, though. Odds are, I wouldn't put it past them to have Tai Yang know about, like, the legend of the Silver-Eyed Warriors.
I wouldn't put it past them either. Especially since Crow knew about it, but he's a lot more open to discussing things with his nieces, as we could clearly see in, what was it, episode, I think it was 4? Oh, God, that was fun.
Yeah.
But anyways,
he's also very, very good at games.
Yes. Yes, he is.
While drunk.
Let's not forget that, people. I'm pretty sure he has a blood alcohol level of 6.2 constantly. This guy puts Rick Sanchez to shame. But anyways, continue on. We continue on with another comment from Thomas Graber White. And this one's on here because I think it was a very interesting one. Also, it's because I want to talk about this, because you might notice I left out certain reviews of certain episodes that I don't consider episodes. And it comes from Thomas Graber White. They said dust loses its power once it leaves the atmosphere, so it needs to be another fuel source before they can go into space. And this was my comments asking, since they have such technology, why haven't they gone to space? And wouldn't that be an interesting, fan fiction idea? Because, let's face it, space just makes things a little bit better. And I didn't know this to begin with. I didn't know that dust, lost its power. Mainly because of the fact that I've only watched the World of Remnants like once, and that's where it actually comes from, is the World of Remnants, which I don't consider part of the RWBY canon. It doesn't mean that what they say doesn't hold weight, but when it comes to the RWBY story canon, actually in story, part of the RWBY world, it is there. It is something that it is. But when it comes to the story, I don't consider it part of it, which means that if it's brought up later on, like it's supposed to be, everyone's supposed to know this, I'm going to have some things to say about that. Because, again, unlike with the trailers, which had a story aspect to them, the World of Remnant was literally them just sitting down and saying, here, this is what's part of the RWBY story, we'll catch you up on it a bit later. Which I felt they could have done a little bit more with it.
Although, I will say, I could see them like working at least the World of Remnant videos that Crow narrates into like this is what the main
this is what
characters know.
He's told them.
Yeah. When
during
they
their
were,
travels.
Yeah, exactly.
I can understand that.
But
Which
the
would
Salem
be pretty
ones,
interesting. I thought that would have been an interesting way of interweaving it into the story, because that happened in Volume 3, or I think in Volume 3, Volume 3 and Volume 4, but it wasn't until Volume 5 did they actually start really traveling with him. It was Volume 4 they really...
Well, I was thinking like the stuff from the previous volume, he could have explained that to them, like...
Almost
After
like we got when he was explaining the whole deity things, which I'll
also his
say on later. But when it comes to this whole dust thing loses power, I found that to be kind of interesting, mainly because this comment not only informed me of something that I didn't know, but it was also just an interesting way of explaining the fact that this world, has limitation. Dust isn't this universal energy source that is just can do anything. This is one of the reasons why people get so upset about like magic. Why can't magic just do it? Well, dummy, anything has got its limitation and rules and regulations.
I mean,
so does dust.
I mean, in like the Fate franchise, if anybody knows about that, which I would think people do, but like there's two different versions. Like there's true magic. And then there's Magecraft. Magecraft is basically stuff that used to be considered true magic, because in that franchise, true magic is something that cannot be replicated by science. But in like down the line, there's only like 5 true magics, and everything else is considered Magecraft because it's been replicated. Like flight used to be true magic, but then with the invention of the airplane,
and this goes on again with just the limitations of things. And this is one of the reasons why I love this comment, is because it not only informed me, but it informs everyone else that yes, dust has its limitations, but it also expands the world, which we'll get to a bit later on in the reviews. But this next one I'm just bringing on here mainly because, of course, Fear the Cutie. I'm sorry I got your name wrong a couple times, but you are amazing when you put down your comments, and this one is a
no different
you from me, which is yay, Lakanan's back, and who are you again? I was going to remember your name, but nah, I've got time. I'll do it later. First of all, thank you so much for the comment. That was amazing. And also, Lakana thanks you too. Too right. Alright, and we're going to be moving on to the next episode.
Although one last thing about the talk about the World of Remnants. I will say my favorite one of the bunch was when Crow was explaining about the Schnee Dust Company.
Yeah.
Just the amount of snark.
Yeah, we'll get to that more in the next volume. I've got a lot to say about that. But anyways, we're moving on to the next episode, episode 2, which involves another one of my commenters, Chris T75. I hope I'm saying your name right. Who writes, their aura can be channeled to their weapons, and thus supercharged. This is mentioned at some point, probably when Pyrrha unlocked Jean's aura. I don't think it's really mentioned at any point, but it's more or less inferred on. Miney pointed to... I brought this one up because this also goes back to Volume 2 and my complaints about how the food was so stale during that comedy fight, which, if you guys noticed...
Bread doesn't work that way.
I was mostly just saying that because this is a comedy fight. Might as well have some fun with it. I know for a fact that none of that needs to mean any sense. And yes, as we could see, aura allows them to do certain things that normal humans can't.
Yep.
Jump large distances, take incredible hits, also have superhuman strength that, well, let's just face it, even RWBY shouldn't be able to have. But when it comes to this, I found this to be very interesting, just in the fact that, as we'll see again in Volume 5, how their aura is utilized is very... very unique. It doesn't act as this sort of single energy source. It acts as a energy source plural to everyone. And well, hopefully we'll never really truly learn where ore comes from, what it truly is made of, because that adds to the mystery of this world. And almost like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where you never learn where alchemy truly comes from, what it truly is.
Yeah. I mean, you get hints of it, but
you
never
hints, but they
actually see firsthand the origin.
It adds that essence to this world that not everything is fully explained yet, that we can still learn more, which is leaving it open to more
almost
stories.
As if, back to Full Metal Alchemist, almost as if alchemy has always existed in some
We're
form.
just utilizing it.
Yes.
That's all. Which I found that's what I liked about this comment, because again, you're adding things that I really didn't know. I didn't know that it could be channeled to their weapons. At first, I just thought their weapons were incredibly strong. But then, as I was thinking about it, no, it will dull over time.
Yeah, and plus that's like kind of Weiss's whole thing is she has dust chambers in her sword.
Which, of course, dust, magic, and semblances are three different things. And I'll get to this later on, but they're technically not. They're three different aspects of one common thing, energy. Yeah. But, as I said, I'll get to that on a later day, because otherwise this video will go on forever. And already we're hitting a 20-minute mark, and I'm going to have to edit this.
Yeah.
But,
and we're on what? Question or comment number 3?
Yeah, we just get us to talking. We'll keep talking. But moving on to the next episode, I like this comment. Again, this is coming from Thomas Gary White, because this goes back to the whole shipping. And it is, whether or not I ship Winter and Crow depends on Winter's age. I think Crow is around his 30s, so Winter would have to be at least 27 for me to ship them. First of all, that's not how shipping works.
No,
it don't matter the age.
Shipped, you...
There's a reason why the lolly exists. God, people, you're fucking weird. But still, I kind of agree with this, merely because of the fact that, yes, the whole age gap difference does make things a little weird. But let's face the facts.
It's fiction.
Yeah, first of all, it's fiction. Second of all, if the sensual was consensual, let it be. But most importantly is that I do believe that they're close to each other's age, just simply because of how they interact with each other. It's clear that they've grown up knowing each other, and it's clear they've grown up resenting each other, while also sort of, I don't know, caring about having secret feelings.
Yeah.
It's, the relationship between Crow and Winter was one of the reasons why I think we loved Crow so much. Is because there was this aspect that people knew each other outside of this little bubble of the school. This is the first time that we really got to know this.
Plus, he's one of the... Crow is one of the few main adults that you see in the show that actually sticks around
long periods of time.
Yeah, and thus letting you get to know him
one of
more.
the few reoccurring characters. He's not like Linda, who's there and we all love her. He's not like Ironwood, who is there and has some sort of part to play, but really doesn't really interact all that much. He's almost like Osmond, who does have a vital part to play, but also interacts with our main characters quite often.
Yes.
And it's nice about Crow because, as I've said before, he acts as that second generation, that previous generation teaching the new generation. Huntsman isn't a new thing. It's something that has been going on for a very long time, and we get to see an older version of Huntsman connected to our new characters.
Plus, pretty much anything that Ruby knows was pretty much, you can almost infer that it was taught to her by Crow.
Oh yeah. Especially since we see how close their relationships are. He is more of a father to them, even though he's not her father. He's more of a father to her than her actual father, which I'll get to in a little while.
He is pretty much the archetype of everybody's favorite drunk uncle.
Yes. That aspect that we all know, we have family members like that who just get far beyond what is legal, but he's just literally that cool uncle that we all wish we had. But moving on to the next episode, not the next episode, but a following episode of episode 5. This is an interesting thing because, again, here's a comment that some of you wrote that I fully knew already, but I love it that you guys write in case somebody else doesn't. And this comes from Rita-chan, the Wolf Lover, 111. I like your review, but I should point out in the case that you didn't read the wiki. the pink-haired girl who fought Yang is a cat faunus based on the Neon Cat. And it's mainly because I called her a monkey girl. And the reason I called her that is because, firstly, I thought she was a monkey girl when I first saw this. It wasn't until she started acting out and I saw the rainbow that I'm like, wait, isn't that Neon? Oh, that's Neon Cat. Oh, that's where she's from. That makes sense.
I mean,
but also because I've seen other people make a very similar mistake with her, calling her a monkey because all they saw was that tail. They were expecting to see cat ears. But that also goes to how faunuses are...
They don't have a singular specific trait based on like not all cat faunus have cat ears or a tail. It's
just
different.
They have some aspect to it.
Yeah.
Which I find to be very interesting because we'll go on to this later on in Volume 4 mainly, but faunuses do seem to be humans just with additional attributes, which it makes it doubly ironic that we are racist towards them. But I like it how somebody brought this up because, again, I knew this already. I knew that it was Neon Cat. Again, go to my end credits trailer, my end credits scene. I literally just played the Neon Cat music as she's running all over the place. I knew that.
Although I will say, I love the song. That's one of my favorite songs from Volume 3.
Let's just face it.
Because it was focused on at Yang.
Yeah, let's just face it. Also, adding jazz to I Burn was amazing. I absolutely love that. But again, great comment. I already knew this, but that doesn't matter. Somebody else may not have known that, and now they do. And knowing's half the battle!
I would make a G.I. Joe reference, but I'm above that. Or Transformers.
He's not above that.
No, I literally was going to say Yo Joe, but I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna.
Oh
wait, shit, I said it. No!
Okay, moving on to episode 6, one of the definitive moments in RWBY in which not only a plot takes center stage, but it's a key moment of the changing of the tide. And commenter, Lost Opinion, I love your comment name, by the way.
That is a very good name.
For a second, I actually thought Lost Pause and posted the comment, and I was about to go, ah! And I'm like, oh, wait, it's nobody. I don't know if you know me, I haven't checked your thing, but... One, you put down a little time mark. Stop brainwashing me. Blake and Son for life. And yes, there are a lot. And this is one, again, it was a joke I was throwing out that people are so into the Bumblebee ship that they are trying to literally brainwash other people to get into it. Which is kind of funny because it's a lesbian ship. And if you think about it, that really wouldn't work for a gay ship. Unless we're talking about Ren and Jean. And then, well, that's a different topic altogether. That because that goes deeper. That's between Miles and Monty. But I like how you brought that up, and then also you continue on saying the FBI should be at my residence shortly. The FBI have been at my residence multiple times. They refuse to take him away. They keep saying that something that since he's both not legal and he is also not a human being, these laws don't apply to him. I keep telling them to stop that. Just take him away, but they won't take him away. Shut up. But anyways, I just love these little comments that the poke fun, but also just are having a good time. I, for myself, don't hate the Bumblebee ship. I actually used to like it for a little while. The only thing that I hate, and I think a lot of you agree, is that we hate it when people get all serious about it. Come on, shipping is supposed to not be serious.
And plus, you have to constantly remember, it's fiction.
Yes.
It's not a real thing.
Yes. Well, it's fiction on top of fiction. Your ship doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They can kill Yang. Granted, I doubt they'll do that, mainly because the fact, as we all saw in Volume 5, you can't really kill one of the key letters of the name of the show. But,
well, I mean, they could, but that would probably be, like, the very last volume.
It would be the very last volume and a definitive end to the show. And there's just no, as he was saying, we have at least another 2 more volumes to go through, at least.
Yeah, bare minimum. Because Monty's original plan was for there to be 16.
Red versus Blue has been going on for 16 years and still is going on. You really think that they're going to kill off one of the main money makers of the animation department?
Well, like I said, Monty, his goal was 16 volumes. That was his original goal, was to have 16 of them. we're not even halfway to that point. So, barring, I would say, probably the apocalypse, I don't think that RWBY's going to be ending anytime soon.
If anything, I like to say is that we'll likely get what we got with Core. Hopefully, and as I'll get to this in a second, hopefully, actually, I'm going to probably scroll down because there's a comment about that. But hopefully we will get that aspect where, RWBY, the original show, ends. But other stories continue on. Whether Rooster is saying this fan fiction is really good, or saying, hey guys, we got a great idea, we start with this. Either way, we love the world, we love the characters, and we want to see this continued. Maybe not with the same characters, but definitely with the same world.
I.e., Red vs. Blue, season 14. It was just an anthology season of different characters. I mean, sure, they did go back to the Blood Gold crew.
If you think about it, Red vs. Blue has been doing that, has been literally sequeling itself continually, but we never noticed it because it sequels so seamlessly. I mean, we're going from different story to different story. Yeah, they have some interconnectivity to each other, but at the end of the day, they're literally totally different stories from each other. They're just becoming sequels. But we still love it because the characters are so great. And that's what we hope to see with further episodes.
I mean, that's Rooster Teeth's bread and butter is characters.
Oh, yes. They are amazing at it.
And I hope that
they make stereotypes into amazing characters that we love to this day.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they will continue this success with Genlock.
Yes.
Especially with the cast that they've got. They've got David Tennant. They've got the Doctor as a major character. And Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, yes. They've got some really good characters there. And
there's constantly announcing more.
This also goes to show just how far Rooster Teeth have come as as not just a production company, but just as, well, who they are.
They're becoming a juggernaut.
To a point, oh yeah. I would have to say they are definitely. Well, because
they're constantly growing.
At first, they took the scene when it came to Machinima. Red vs. Blue was not the first, but it was
pioneered
the best.
Yeah, it pioneered.
It took it to a whole new level. It's like The Shining almost.
Yeah.
Horror films that existed before The Shining, but The Shining took it to a step beyond. Yeah. That's what Red vs. Blue did. Then, of course, RWBY. First anime that has been done, officially considered an anime, even though it was made in America. And not just like, they designed it and, came up with all the style. And no, it was made officially here by Americans first. And yet, Japanese people loved it. Showing that it doesn't matter where you make it as long as you make it good.
Yeah, anime is not strictly from Japan anymore. Anime is an art style.
Yes. That can branch to so many different cultures.
Because, I mean,
see if I can.
A lot of cartoons take influence from anime. Some more than others.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, yes. Well, I can't find the particular comment.
What are we looking for?
Anyways, but I do remember the aspect. Anyways, one of you guys commented mainly in the
you know
first
who you
episode.
are.
Yeah, you know who you are. Please give a shout out in the comment section below because this was actually a pretty good comment. You commented in the first episode. I made a little joke that I watched the show. I was hoping that it would be great, and it turned out to suck. And that was Legend of Korra. And to be honest, the show didn't suck. If you watch it by itself, the show's actually really good. But in comparison to his predecessor, the show just didn't live up. Which is like saying
you're probably just started a flame war.
I know there are people down there demanding my death. Don't worry, you'll get it eventually. He's already planned multiple times. But the reason I was saying it is because Avatar was such an amazing show, and then Legend of Korra comes around, and it just didn't stand up. That was all it did.
Well, you have to remember,
it just didn't stand up. It wasn't that it was bad, or that was
there was many factors.
There was many factors to it. Some things were good, some things were bad, but at the end of the day, it just didn't stand up, and that's the key factor. That's one of the reasons why Volume 4 and 5 so far have gotten panned by people. Because they're like, oh, it didn't stand up to Volume 3. And I'm like, well, there are certain aspects that it actually did better than Volume 3.
The
but
animation is so good now.
Let's face the facts. The only reason why, and I'll get to this actually in the first review of Volume 4, is that one of the reasons why people didn't like the animation is just because of the fact that it was a change. If
they stopped
RWBY
using posers.
started with this, we wouldn't care. We would love it. Mainly because everything is so seamless and fluid. It feels like a world. It doesn't feel like somebody made this, I don't know, on a Saturday night and threw it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the point. Volume 4 is the first time where RWBY starts to feel like an actual show with real production value. But anyways, sorry I couldn't find your exact comment. Whoever you are, please comment in the section below saying that you're the one who did this. I'll try, if I can find it, I'll put a little something on the screen. But that was an amazing comment, mainly because of the fact you had your own opinion about something. You didn't agree with me, and I like that. I don't care if you don't agree with me. That's not the point here. That's not the point why I made these reviews. It's because I wanted to share my opinion, and more importantly, hear your opinion. You guys love that Korra.
It's supposed to be a discussion.
Great. Yeah. I didn't like Korra. That's okay. It doesn't make it a terrible show. Just means that I didn't like it. And yeah, sure, there's some things bad about it, but that doesn't mean that no people are not going to like it. There's some movies there that are actually considered bad by the general public and general critics, and I love them. You guys love them. That doesn't mean anything bad.
And there are some stuff that
just means that it's generally bad.
And there's some movies and shows that are so bad that they kind of start becoming good.
Yeah, people like them because they're bad.
Yes.
They find them entertaining because of that. Oh, and here it is.
You found it?
No, this is another thing I wanted to get on because this is the reason why I brought it up. But, to another one of my commenters who comments quite often, I can't exactly pronounce your name, so I'll put it on the screen again, just like the other ones. But you wrote, wait, when in the hell did Gurren Lagann do what you described? Which I said is that it pretty much was all spectacle and that it sucked it sucked in comparison to story and everything. I've watched that show 4 times, though, because it is the greatest thing that ever exists. Don't hate me on that. You put at instead of hate. You're supposed to put H and then at and then eat. Just to make it look cool. And I'm not going to hate you on it. You like it, I don't. That doesn't matter.
I mean, it's not a bad anime. But
and then, were you
supposed to be campy.
And then you said, were you referring to Viral? The only guy who can feasibly think, this is where it actually comes into play. I didn't watch Gurren Lagann. I watched the next season, I think, about it, and that's when I watched it with him. And I knew Gurren Lagann exists.
You watched like the second half?
Yes.
Yeah, like everything post-time skip.
And to be honest, if anything, I don't think anything really has changed in the aspect of it, because I just looked up some basic information about it. And to be honest, Gurren Lagann does suck when it comes to character and stories. They're bare basic characters. It is a pitiful story, and it is an amazing show. Yeah. Why? Terminator 2! The characters are all bare basic. That strong woman, the puny kid who's all 90s, man. The Terminator. It's all bare basic. But no, we don't care. Because it's set out for one thing, to be a great show that had fun.
Yes.
Gurren Lagann did that. It said, hey, we're going to suck. We're not going to have great characters. We're not going to just be all spectacle. And you know what? We're going to own that, and we're going to have fun with it. And that's what they did. And I love them for that. I don't exactly like watching Gurren Lagann, but I understand that it's a good show, and I understand why it's a good show. Characters? Story? No. World? Pretty basic. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it said, we're going to just have fun, so hold on to the roller coaster and let's go for a ride.
Yes.
And it succeeded. So many other shows try that. They try to have fun, but at the end of the day, they take themselves too seriously. And that's when we get, oh, God. RWBY does take itself seriously, but it tries to have a story with it, which is one of the reasons why it can take itself seriously. Gurren Lagann doesn't. And it's one of the reasons why it can not have a good story or good characters or good world, because it's not taking itself seriously. It's saying, hey guys, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Don't worry if you don't really like it. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's literally just what it is. It's not meant to be, there's so much depth.
Oh my gosh, the characters in the story, it moved me. It's not meant to be that.
It's supposed to be badass.
Yeah! Literally, it has created so many memes with itself.
Yes.
Because that's what it set out to do, just to be something awesome and to be remembered for that.
It's a super robot show.
Yeah. It's one of the,
should be enough.
It's one of the things why Pacific Rim, the second Pacific Rim, failed in comparison to the first. The first knew that it was going to suck, and it just decided to have some good action scenes with good robot fighting monsters. Second one decided to have more plot to it, and that's one of the reasons why it didn't work so well.
Well, they were trying to build a universe, though.
Yeah, they were trying to build a universe, which is fine. Gurren Lagann did that. But then again, they took themselves too seriously. I mean, don't do that when you want to have fun.
Yeah. Although I will say, Pacific Rim Uprising did have one thing going for it. They showed the Unicorn Gundam.
That is one thing they did. It's very similar to, like, granted, Ready Player One did one-up them, but still, and it's interesting to see that that's how much of a mainstay that anime has become.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a Gundam live-action movie.
Oh,
it's made by
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but it actually might potentially tie in if they do another Pacific Rim, or it could tie into like the kaiju verse that they're doing for like Godzilla and Kong, because it's made by Legendary Pictures.
Yeah.
So,
and anyways, moving on. This one actually goes back. I just wanted to show this. It actually goes back to my Red trailer review, but I wanted to show it because somebody decided to put it on, and at first I didn't realize it, but YouTube does have an auto caption for pretty much every video, and at first I thought it was just a pretty good auto caption. It'd be very similar to like what your phone has. But somebody said, I turned on subtitles for this, and I just lolled. The person is That Lazy Fox 88. And at first I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. So I just turned on the old video, and I clicked on subtitles. And then, of course, I'm on the ground laughing my butt off. And then I respond with, robots will rule the world! They don't understand a single word I say, but they will rule the world! And this is something I fully agree on. All hail Supreme Empress Penny! She will lead us to a better life. And we're about to actually get to this in the next comment, which, well, not the next comment, but
it's upcoming.
It's upcoming. First of all, because it has to do with work unions and everything, I just want to, again, come out with this guy again. He wrote, so foreshadowing Ghost is pulling double duty as symbolism Ghost. I guess foreshadowing doesn't pay what it used to. We pay him well. He gets to live in this house. He gets to haunt my attic. We pay him well. Don't you get the union over in here, okay? I'm done paying the taxes for him. Layabout lazy ass. He's lucky that I give him a job. But anyway, in all reality, I actually didn't expect the foreshadowing Ghost to be a character. I just threw him in because I thought it was funny. But like Lakanon, he's become his own character. So thanks to everyone who's made that happen.
Yeah, you're just like RWBY. Your reviews are evolving.
Yes, and and I love this one. This one again comes from the RWBY Review Episode 8, which I was pretty much saying is that they wanted to have this like shocking moment, which was usually not a great thing. I mean, it's just a sudden shock moment. It doesn't usually end well. But I decided to give it a little name because we all know where the shocking moments were memed from, and that's from M. Night Shyamalan. What a twist! And it used to be pretty good. I mean, let's face it, many of his twists have been pretty decent, but
Sixth Sense is probably the best of them.
Yeah, the Sixth Sense is definitely where it came his mainstay from, but after that, it just was that he was overused. He was more focused on the twist than it was in building up the story. You can have a twist anywhere, but if we are not practically seeing it coming, it doesn't make it very good.
And then he made The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also a terrible move from him. But I decided to give it a little name. I said the Shyamalan Shock. And somebody by the name of Adrian Alexander wrote, the Shyamalan Shock. Sounds like an attack. Remember to do the Shyamalan Shock, Yang! Try to surprise your enemy and then blow him away with your stupidity. Oh, God. I first of all love that because you actually used Yang, which is something that she would do.
Yes, that is a Yang move.
The number of times that Yang has... we've gotten the meme where Yang is bleeding out, her arm is cut off, and then, of course, I don't know, the police burst in and she goes, wait, I'm armless! Oh God! But I love that comment, and to be honest, man, yes, the Shaman Shock actually does sound like an attack move. We need that as an attack move. Can we just have that somewhere as suddenly an attack move? I'm pretty sure Shyamalan is not going to care. I don't think he has enough reputation to really sue anybody just yet. But moving on. Let's see if I can find that one. Of course, these are ones in which... Oh, yeah, here we are. Penny. This is where I wanted to get on. Good old Penny. Where's the one that I wanted to talk about? Because there was, again, a lot of good ones. If I were to go over this, it would take me forever.
We have to pick and choose specific ones, or else
Oh,
we'd be
yes.
here all...
I mean, already, we're looking at almost an hour here, which I don't really mind.
There's going to be a lot of...
But this one...
One?
Let me see if I can... Because again, when I brought up Penny, a lot of people were very interested in bringing up some very interesting points about her. I think it's this one right here from... I don't want to be cutting this out.
We find it?
Yes. This one comes from a comment who, again, Fear the Cutie, who wrote down something interesting about Penny, but that's not the comment we're going to be looking over.
It's a comment of the comment.
Yes, it's a comment of the comment. Two of them, to be precise. One that I can't pronounce the name, so here you are, the generic name, said, right, Penny is dead. She is not just a robot, she had a soul. Interesting. But somebody decided to elaborate on that, and this is again another one of my favorite commenters, Cody Raw. One problem with the whole statement is the term of generating. That is typically isn't something you do when you have an aura. I mean, it might be nitpicky or might go into some other point. A certain evil bastard states in the video, she is a robot, and eventually in anime, all Gundam prototypes lead to mass production infinitely
worse mass production models.
Yes. Piloted by adults who don't know how guns work. Yes, isn't that funny that all Gundams and large robots eventually end up just using swords and everything? Though, let's face it, the sword doesn't have ammo, guns do, and you can only carry so much.
Unless you're Dante.
Yes, unless you're Dante, then, you just activate the hacks mode. I am implying a red versus blue text box fight, but with Penny? Not really. But can they make a second Penny? One that might be cheaper and rushed off her production with full contradictions, such as having epilogic knowledge of her friends, but none of the emotions. Someone more easily and readily manipulated by the mustached evil robot master villains notorious for using humanoid robots in battle, blue dresses heroes. Yes, pretty much just what they were saying is that Penny is dead, and this is where I came to say that I hope that Penny isn't dead. I
have an idea, because in Transformers Beast Wars,
I'm fully okay with her being dead.
Yeah, no, well, in Transformers Beast Wars, at the end of the first season, they kill off Optimus Primal in an explosion in space to destroy a super weapon.
They do bring him back.
But they bring him back through his spark, which is his soul.
Which we have to understand.
His body's gone.
This is where I didn't really elaborate on it because, again, I'm okay with her being dead. I just think it's a great opportunity to build a character moment. Something that Rushi is very good at. And the reason why I say that I don't think she is dead is because we don't know. When you get cut in half, why do you die? You lose blood. Blood cannot get to your brain dies. Well, in RWBY, Penny is a robot. Her brain is literally a bunch of wires and such. I'm pretty sure it's far more complex than that. But as long as it has power, I'm pretty sure that it can remain active. Which means that she more or less goes into a sleep mode. Which means that you could have a small battery powering her for years and she'll be fine. She'll be in sleep mode, won't be able to do anything, but she will still be alive. And her soul will still be attached to that.
And plus, remember, at the end of Volume 5, they say their next stop is Atlas.
Literally the place where Penny was made.
Yes.
Which may hint at some aspect where we have to see RWBY literally crumble, realizing that her friend is still alive. And of course Penny wondering, am I alive? I mean, I just got ripped into pieces. Can I die? Am I going to be one of these people who outlives all my friends? It'd be a wonderful moment to explore a character, well, who literally is almost immortal. So long as her brain is not destroyed, which, let's face it, that in pretty much all robots, I mean, just look at one of the most popular ones, Ghost in the Shell. As long as your brain is okay, you can be ripped to pieces.
Yeah.
And the same thing here. RWBY, Penny's head was still fully intact. Sure, yeah, her body got torn in half, and yes, it probably had to shut down due to a power loss, but I'm pretty darn sure she's still alive. If she's not, again, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the point is to bring that interesting aspect to expand the story. Having her dead doesn't really take us any further. Having her alive still keeps her a moment of, holy crap, the show is now changed. It is no longer just, oh, we're having good times. No, it's now, holy crap, our people are getting ripped to pieces. And with Penny, it's, again, interesting because does she feel pain? If she does have some sort of synthetic way of feeling pain, she just felt herself getting ripped in half and has to live with it. In the same way that Yang has to live with it. But unlike Yang, who gets a robotic arm, Penny's going to have to be rebuilt. Which likely means is that she's going to be far more timid than she used to be, because she knows now, I can still feel pain. I can be destroyed again and again and still live.
I don't think
my life could be a living hell.
I don't think she does feel pain, because when it was revealed that she was actually a robot with a soul, when she stopped the truck, her hands were...
Well, it still doesn't take away the fact that she realizes that she can suddenly just black out because her body was destroyed, but be brought back. Again, it brings into that aspect of the immortal. Can I outlive my friends? Or will I outlive my friends? It's just an interesting thing to bring about, and that's what I care more about, is just bringing those potentials of great ideas to the storyboard. But moving on to I want this. This goes to a little shout out video that I decided to record because there was no other way I can get to you guys. No one's really following me on Twitter. There is one guy following me. I don't want to say his name. Yeah, Twitter. At Fort Woodlock, all one word.
Okay.
There is one guy who's following me who's been retweeting. Thanks to you, whoever you are. His name is Spooky F Word. I'm not gonna say it. And it'd be nicer here in these comment reviews, but anyways, I pretty much in this video I was pretty much just saying, hey guys, sorry that the video isn't up yet. It's been almost a week, but I got blocked and I'm trying to fight it right now, and it really sucks because there's this company out there that's called UMG. It stands for Universal Music Group, and more or less is they made a deal with YouTube that they would be able to block and copyright and monetize any video that had their music in it. Which sounds okay. You use their music for something nefarious, they're not gonna like it. But the problem with this is that it overrides copyright law. And if anybody's asking, is copyright a law? I have to ask you, do you think there are copyrights? Is that a law? If copywriting something is a law, fair use is a law as well. Sorry about that, but it's just how things rule. I know Disney doesn't like that, but that's how things is. And well, they are pretty much breaking the law by saying that we can copyright and steal people's money simply because they decided to use our music on a fair use. And this was funny because I didn't even use any of the music. I've been using more or less free use music or RWBY music, which for the most part hasn't been copyrighted. Thank you so much, Jeff Williams, and whoever owns Jeff Williams' music. But I just found it so immensely funny because it was this moment that I actually started doing some actual research, not into just UMG, but into the other copywriter who's been copyrighting my stuff, Rooster Teeth LLC, who has copyrighted many other people who have done RWBY things, and things that Rooster Teeth have no part in, such as a little indie game that you guys might know called Undertale. Yeah, some people have had their videos copyrighted by Rooster Teeth LLC, and there's a reason I'm pausing there is because it is two different words. Rooster Teeth LLC. Anybody who knows Rooster Teeth knows that their actual copyright claimant is Rooster Teeth, one word, Productions LLC. This is literally somebody out there portraying themselves as Rooster Teeth, stealing money from other creators. They're literally breaking the law, and YouTube, of course, is not doing a damn thing. Which is, I'm not endorsing it. I won't endorse this. But if any of you want to, I don't know, pretend you're Disney or EA Games or, you know, YouTube itself, and copyright a bunch of very, very popular videos and steal all the revenue, and you can keep it for yourself. I'm not endorsing that. I certainly say you shouldn't do that. But if you do that, I don't know, maybe YouTube will crack down on this stuff. Or better yet, maybe Disney will say, you better stop this, or we're going to send Goofy over there and he's going to break your legs. Disney, please get down on this. This is terrible. But anyways, that's one of the reasons why my videos have been stopped. Is literally, they block my video, monetize it, and then allow my video up. Literally trying to make money off it, which is, you guys can see from my views, I just don't have that many views, okay? I haven't advertised or anything, so I'm not known by thousands of people. I'm known by a few hundred, at most. But anyways, yeah, that just a little shout out to that, because a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, that's terrible, shouldn't that not happen? And yeah, I do dispute these claims. I do say, no, my stuff is under copyright. But unless I actually dispute their dispute, which, by the way, takes about a month. I have to wait a month for a reply, because I don't get a reply. They just don't reply to me, and then YouTube says, okay, automatically I have to take your side. They're not replying. So legally, in order to keep myself from getting in too much of the shit that I am in, I have to take your side. That's one of the most terrible things. And I can understand why people don't like YouTube at all. But moving on to, well, better prospects. Anyways, let's see. Let's get another comment. Oh, that one's a little too complex. I don't like it. Oh. Here's an interesting one again from Fear the Cutie, and it's back in episode 11, the episode that everyone hates. But anyways, Fear the Cutie wrote, I may be reaching here, but I gotta hand it to you. You really tried to disarm us with Yang's predicament. I know Roman's death was hard to swallow, but you really shot an arrow in my heart and had me ripped apart my attachments to Yang's with those multiple takes. Now I will go die for that terrible joke. Please don't die. I love your comments, but still, I just love that one simply because, yes, you took it full force, and that's more or less what I was doing. Is that I didn't like that at all. When I first watched it, I was stunned completely. I didn't think that Rooster Teeth had the balls to do that. And then, of course, they showed us just how big their balls were with the next episode. Yeah. But, damn. When I came to writing that, I literally was like, how should I do this? I don't know. I'll just do my usual response. How did I respond to that? Oh, I hated it. I know. I'll pretend like I didn't think that that happened and just freak out about it. But I just wanted to put this comment in here because bravo to you. That pun is Yang approved.
Probably also Barb approved too.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and then is that one. Oh yes, this one's an interesting one. A bit much, but again, it comes from this guy again. I can't pronounce your name, but whatever. He wrote, or she, I have no idea. They wrote, while the power inconsistency during the comment around the beacon is certainly something worth noting, I feel like it is, one, not something that most people notice on their first viewing of this, and two, could you imagine how long it would take to animate 15 characters fighting at that level we've seen in the past? It's similar problem to what Volume 5 had in its climax, though much better handled since you can actually see things happening. And this is where I was complaining of the fact that when it came down to the students fighting the Grimm and the robots, that we didn't get enough of their actual powers. We were showing them as much more powerful, and I fully understand.
And when you finally got to see Velvet in action.
Yeah, that was definitely nice.
That was years of waiting.
Yeah, that was years of waiting, and also definitely nostalgic. Let's face it, we all were sitting in our seats giggling with joy when we saw each of the references. But my point was, yes, it was kind of sad that they had that down, but it was that each of the characters seemed lowered powered. And there was a way to fix that. You just throw a couple broken robots there everywhere, some grim disappearing, to show that they have fought more than just what they're currently fighting, that they're tired.
Or a pile of robots.
A bunch of pieces everywhere. It show that they've been fighting for a long time, that they're exhausted, which is why they're getting taken down by these giant Atlas Elysium paladins. That would be able to wipe that all over. But of course they didn't do that, and I can understand. Yeah, like you said, animating 15 characters. It's hard enough to animate a good fight with just 2 characters.
Especially with what they were using in Volume 3.
Yeah, as anybody knows, they were using Maya for those, and then it's good, but they don't have the money or the people. If they did, they would just hire, like 100 animators and have that scene lickety split. But they didn't. And my point is not to bash them for something that they weren't able to do, but they offer possibilities. Let's face it, animating 15 characters, even nowadays, with big budget people, is very difficult. Mainly because of the fact that you can't show everyone. But that's not the point. It's how to get around those problems.
Yes.
And, well, Rooster Teeth could do that. They just need to think outside the box a little. And that's all I was doing, is offering some solutions to a problem that they may come across again. But I thank you for printing that out, because again, on first viewing, we didn't care. We were like, yay, fighting, boom, 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 yeah, woo, Velvet. And then of course she gets kicked in the freaking face. That was brutal.
Hello.
God, I loved it how they did it in slow motion too, because you could feel that one. Damn. My poor little bunny just lost all her teeth. Don't worry, they'll grow back. But
speaking of Velvet, I can't wait for after the fall.
Yes, as I say in my final thoughts, that's actually something I'm actually looking forward to too. Granted, I'm a little iffy on it because of the fact that they are making it just a book and not really anything more substance towards the universe.
It's not only is it just not a regular novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a young adult's novel.
Yeah. So, but hopefully it turns out well, because if it does, that opens the doorway to so many more stories being told. Not just from Rooster Teeth, from other people. All it'll take is Rooster just saying, you know what, we like the story. Stamp of approval. There you go. That adds to our universe. Just think of the Star Wars. Not everything that you see out there, most of the stuff, hell, almost all of it is not done by George Lucas. But he puts his stamps on it. And it's part of the RWBY.
Not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore.
But back before
he's more or less lost his mind.
Yeah, but before he sold Star Wars to Disney, like there was like the movies, but then there was the expanded universe.
Yes, something that Disney has tried to kill, but we know that.
Well, not necessarily. They're bringing the expanded universe stuff in pieces. They're picking and choosing what becomes canon.
Because there is a lot of stuff, and I agree. Some of the stuff is just way out there, but let's face it, most of it is really good. What's really great about it all is how it expands the world of Star Wars, and that's what's great.
Multiple mediums.
Yeah, that's what's great about fan fiction. Granted, we're all a little iffy because there's a lot of terrible writers out there who just can't write a single line, even if they had a gun pointed to their head. But there's a lot of good ones out there who are trying to expand the world of RWBY. One of my favorite,
in their own way.
One of my favorite ones is one in which I don't really like. I don't really like how you take the original cast and use them your own way, unless you're radically changing them. And that's what this person does. He only does it, I don't know who they are, but they only do it via pictures. It's called Dishwasher 1910, I believe. If you look on his pictures online, they are spectacular. Not only do they look beautiful, but they take RWBY in an entirely different story. It's called RWBY 3.0, and it's amazing. If you got time, check it out. And like the guy, he is amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on to episode 12, which just recently came out. We're of course recording this 3 days later. Hopefully we get some more comments. Sadly, if there are some really good ones, we won't be able to get over them. But to wrap this all up,
maybe in Volume 4,
maybe in Volume 4, I just did here. We'll look back at some of the interesting comments. But for now, some of you have posted some really interesting ones here.
Yeah, because we're recording it right now, so that way you could have it for Halloween.
All right, there's really only 3 comments here, and I'm just going to do all 3 of them because mine as well, but mainly because of the fact that each one is really good. I really like them. Starting, of course, with, again, this guy. He wrote, I might just say there is actual legitimate reason for Pyrrha to stay and fight. This is when I was complaining that Pyrrha turned back to fight when she should have ran and got help and came back with an army to fight Cinder rather than stay there herself. I thought that there might have been like some sort of mess up with the script, that maybe what should have happened is that Pyrrha was about to turn back to go help Osmond now that John was safe, but as she sends John away to go get help, she realizes that Osmond has fallen and decides, you know what, I'm not going to wait around, I'm going to fight Cinder. Then that would have felt something a bit more than just her trying to be the hero and everything, and I just felt that a bit too contrived. Again, it's the set up to the fight, not the fight itself or how Pyrrha died. It was the set up to it, which it's just something that happened. Pyrrha was going to fight Cinder. How they got her to fight Cinder was the problem, and there's a number of ways they could have made this a whole lot worse. Again, it's the whole, on first viewing, you really don't notice it. It's on later viewings that you do, and that's the only problem. And if you can make it on later viewings where you don't really notice it, that's when you've gotten good.
Yeah.
But continuing on with this comment, he says, all she had to do was delay Cinder long enough for the other huntsmen to get to the tower. They had cell phones. Why not call the other huntsmen there and then engage?
The Beacon Tower was their communication tower.
No, Beacon Tower is not the communication tower. It was the it was the cross-continental transmit tower.
Well, that was also taken out. During the fight. So
we weren't shown. That was the interesting thing. Again, this is where we have to take liabilities. That we weren't shown or told that really. We later find that out, but we weren't immediately told that, and that's why I said it's just this setup.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my gosh, it tears in the episode. No, it was just a setup. It's a small thing. On first viewing, you don't notice it. Again, these are just helpful hints, hoping that Rooster Teeth learns from mistakes. We all have to learn through our mistakes, but it's only through people pointing them out that we can find out what may be an actual mistake. But continuing on, he pretty much...
Even then, Rooster Teeth might not view it as a mistake.
Yeah. Even on... Yeah. Again, that's where I said it's us pointing out mistakes and them taking what they can and trying to utilizing it. They don't have to take anything I say at face value at all. I'm just trying to help make RWBY better. But he more or less just continues on saying some basic stuff that, Pyrrha, she was trying to be a hero. She was trying to stop Cinder, or at the very least prevent Cinder from destroying Beacon Tower, which I fully understand. Again, this is just from first viewing. And he's saying that Pyrrha knew that she was going to die. That's something that I don't entirely think is true, but I also can understand why it is easily understandable. Yeah. Pyrrha was already told that she was going to play a vital role, and she's more or less committing to that role. That's one of the
even without the powers that she was supposed to have.
That was one of the things that I did. That's why I'm not saying this was completely terrible. It's one of the things I did like is that here it is confirmation from Pyrrha that she is accepting the role that Osmond has given her. But moving on, again, this guy writes, nice use of the Rich Garcia melody at the end. That piece really makes me want more orchestral pieces in the OST. I swear, if there are just 2 pieces I know are coming that I want to hear, I fully realize it is Osmond's Leitmotif and the... Leitmotif and the hypnotic chanting during the Silver Eye action. And this was during the end of the review where I decided to throw something I wanted to throw in, which is me getting killed during the end credits. It's something I wanted to do for Volume 1 and Volume 2, but I didn't have the time. And I needed some music and I needed something somber. And so I looked up online and I saw a orchestral, I wouldn't say RWBY music, it's more like a collection of their music. But it was so great, I decided to use it. And yes, we could definitely use a few more of those, and not just the original soundtrack, but just from people making them. It was so beautiful. If you go, I seriously say, RWBY Colors, CLRS. Look them up. The music is really, really beautiful. But also, thank you for posting that comment. And now, ending this comment section review we go with something that I immediately just felt so cringy. But speaking, this comes from, again, Fear the Cutie. Thank you for so much for this comment, you demon. Speaking of shippers, I totally ship Lakana and that freaky lady at the end. Sorry for the late watch and comment. Been busy with college, work, and my own projects. Hopefully all three of those go well. And yes, I would just like to say, no, shut the fuck up. Lakana, as he just said, fully approves of that ship.
Of course he
I
would.
cannot believe you guys did that. And Fear the Cutie's not the only one. Somebody else wrote a reply to that, and I completely agree. But Fear the Cutie continues on with a PS. The ending was so brutal. I don't think my heart, little on Pyrrha's, could have taken that kind of assault. And yes, that's where my end credit clip, I knew it had to be something big, and I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And then I thought, well, you know what? I can't really push past it. I have to do something with Pyrrha and her getting shot. And I was like, okay, well, what can I pair that up with? There's so many songs out there that easily pair that up. There's so many scenes, so many memes. And yeah, just as I wrote, there was a dark voice in the back of my head. The same kind of voice when you're like in a store and it says, steal that. Or when you're out in public, it says, do a JoJo reference. All sorts of evil things you never normally do. But that dark voice was whispering in the back of my head going, all of the memes. And that's what I had to do. I couldn't use all of them. There was a few that I had to leave out because I knew I was already at a minute long end credit scene, but I just thought it would be so much fun just to do it one over and over and over. To be honest, that's not the worst thing I think I've done. I think the one I did with Penny with utilizing Portals, Portals to Gladys's No along with Penny. I thought that was far worse, but yeah, sorry about that, guys. But hey, that just goes to show how much Rooster Teeth has really built these characters up.
Yep.
They're actually no longer just simply characters. They're people that we feel are real. And as I said in the review, they're no less real than the man who gave them to us. And because of that, it has built a community like you see in my comment section. We're just sharing ideas, and I love that you guys are sharing ideas. Thank you so much. And I hope Volume 6 goes well. I'm not going to watch it. He's going to watch it.
Yep.
Or he'll do his usual thing. He'll watch for a little while, and then he'll just stop. But
well, I'm actually going to try and watch this one every Saturday.
Me, I won't. I'm going to have to look up online to figure out how I download the videos from Rooster Teeth, which I think is a way, because I sadly don't have the money to build myself a proper PC so that I can actually get myself a video catcher device and then just get the DVDs. I'm looking at like $1,000 just to build myself a decent PC that would actually be able to handle video editing and to that extent. I don't have that money. If you want to help me, support my Patreon. But either way, guys, thank you so much for your comments. It's been pretty amazing. There were so many here that I wanted to get to. I knew I wasn't going to be able to. So I suggest that you go through all the videos and just look through some of the comments. Maybe reply to some of them. Maybe post some of your own. If you have an opinion or you have a certain thing that you want to say, just say it. I love every single one of your comments. Even the ones that, were like, oh, you suck. I still like those because, again, it's nice to hear that the trolls are still alive. What would the internet be without them? But so many of these comments, even the ones that I didn't fully agree with, even the ones that fully didn't agree with me, I absolutely loved. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching the comment review. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm supposed to be dressed up as Yang, and he's a much better oobleck than I could have ever pulled off. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween. You stay classy, and remember, in all that you do and create, go forth and inspire. Catch you guys next time. Toodles!
See ya.